Hello students, good morning. My name is Ajitesh Moy Ghosh. I am Assistant Professor of Computer Science and Engineering Department of Adamas University. Today we will talk about programming and data structure, and it is the second lecture of this module. The topic we are covering here: operations and expressions, data types, and Python data structure. Operation and expression plays a very important part because there are certain things we need to understand to program with Python language. That is one none type, and it is present in Python, and also false, that is actually Boolean value, and integer, float, complex, zero, everything is present here, an empty sequence or mapping. So sequence we talk when we are discussing about list, tuple, dictionary, set, all these are sequence, and mapping we will discuss about it. An instance of a user defined class also very important, because we know Python is an object oriented programming language. Here class is very important information, and when we talk about the class, it means the object. We can create n number of objects of any class, and there are certain methods which are inbuilt, like here we can see len function, and it is the len function which uses the double underscore len, then double underscore method. It is internally working in the len function. So this double underscore len double underscore function, we can call it by using the object of the class. So we can see, even if we are not using the double underscore len double underscore function, in the len function that internally works. And also we can see that double underscore bool double underscore is actually this particular inbuilt function. We can call it by using the object of the class. And type is very important function, because if we want to know the type of any variable we are using in Python, we can use this type function. It returns the class in which the particular variable is belonging. For an example, suppose we are giving a number num variable is equal to, within double quote, I am in Kolkata. So it behaves like a string, as because I have given a value which is quoted. Now if the same variable we use like num is equal to 10, then this particular num variable will be as integer, that is int. Now you can see that this type function is used, and the num variable definition is changed whenever we are using num is equal to a string, that becomes str class, and whenever we are using num is equal to any particular numeric value, that becomes integer. And similarly, if we use num is equal to any float value, that is 100.25, that becomes a float. So we can see that same variable is dynamically changing as and when we are providing the value to it. As per that, the type of that particular variable is changing. So we have discussed already in your first lecture that dynamically semantic. So here we can have an example that Python is dynamically semantic, okay, and that new double underscore double new and double underscore, it creates an object which can be controllable, and it means suppose we want to create any particular object with certain special feature, we can use this new double underscore new double underscore, and this double underscore int double underscore, it initializes the attributes that is within the object. That means attribute means we are talking about the variables which present within a class. So it can be initialized. So we can see from here double underscore int double underscore is initializing the attributes of the particular class. Now we can say this double underscore int double underscore as a constructor of Python class. So it is actually initializing, okay. So we know in C++ we have discussed about the constructor. Now here in Python we introduce the constructor concept using the double underscore int double underscore. Now another very important information which I would like to discuss, that is we can see var comma single underscore var comma double underscore var. Why it is significant? Because we have discussed in our first lecture that access specifier is a very important part of object oriented programming concept. Here the first VAR is actually public access specifier. That means anyone or any class can access this. Now single underscore var, if we declare this variable within the class, it behaves like a protected variable. That means only the inherited class or the child class can access, and the double underscore var, which use as a private data member element of Python class. Now here only the class can use this particular variable. Now here we can see the access of these three variables, three type of declaration of the variable has become public, protected and private. So it is following the object oriented programming concept. Then we talk about the method that returns 0 or false. That means any particular method which we use either returns 0 or false. That means 0 means true or false means that is not true. Python has some built-in data type which are very important. That is, in the case of none category, it is used as none, and the description of this, the null object. you can see from here that it has been termed an object. That means anything we do in Python is introduced with an object, so it represents a particular class. Now in case of numeric category, there is name, we can say integer, float, complex, bool, all this comes under numeric category. Why? Because we have seen in the previous slide, whenever we actually initializing a particular variable called num using a string, that becomes a string, and whenever we are using the same variable using an integer, that becomes integer, and similarly it becomes float whenever we are trying to initialize it with a float value. And complex means x plus iy, I is the imaginary number and x is the real number. So there are two parts, real part and imaginary part, and these two parts can be separated by real and imanc functions. Then bool. Bool returns true or false, that is boolean, and if we use control statement, that is if, it returns the true or false. And the methods also returns true or false. So we can see from here the numeric has got these four names. Then we come to the next category, sequence, and here str, list, tuple, range, these four names are present. Now why str? Str actually representing the string of characters. As we have already discussed that if we initialize or a particular variable anywhere is equal to, within quote, I am in Kolkata, that becomes a string, and we can use certain operations using the string, and that is string slicing is a very important operation. And when we talk about list, it is the most frequently used name or data type in Python. And here list contains arbitrary objects. Why arbitrary objects? As because we have discussed already that everything comes as an object in Python. If we use integer value, that also represented by int. If we use string value, that is also represented by str. All these things we can simultaneously store in a list. So that means we can store number, we can store float, we can store string, we can store list within a list, and we can store also tuple within a list, we can store also other data type within a list. So that becomes very flexible whenever we are using list. And tuple also very frequently used data type in Python. It also stores arbitrary items. That means it can store integer, it can store float, it can store string, it can store list, and or also a tuple can store a tuple within it. So we can see all these objects we can store in list tuple. So these are very, very flexible, and the difference of this list and tuple is that list is mutable. That means we can change the values of the arbitrary object present in list, but tuple is immutable. That means we cannot change the value of the tuple. Now range is another function which is frequently used in case of loop concept, or else it also can be used in case of we can generate a random value using the random function also, or else from we can use the values within a particular range. So here we can see in the description it mentioned that it creates a range of integers. Then we talk about the dict, that is dictionary. That is very important, and it is represented with the help of key value pairs. Now key represented by the index number, index value rather, and the value which comes under the particular key. Now key part of the dictionary is immutable, it cannot be changed, and the value part can be changed. We can add dictionary, that means dictionary itself is a mutable, we can change, add, but we cannot change the key value. Then set is the only mutable unordered collection which is having unique items. That means duplicate item will be removed from the set. So it is the only unique item data type which does not contain any duplicate value. Then frozen set, as just we have discussed that set is mutable, but if we use a frozen set, it is immutable. That means we cannot change the value of the set. Now Boolean operators, in case of Python there are lots of Boolean operators, so we can use not x, return true if x is false. That means if x is not true, it will return, or return true, or else if it is false, otherwise. X and y, so it is actually considering the dot operation what we talk about in Boolean algebra, that returns true if both x and y are true. So that means if 0 is x and 0 is y, so it returns true, otherwise false, and if x is 1 and y is 1, then it's return true. And x or y, again it works as plus operator, that either x or y, if anyone is true, then it returns true. If x or y both become false, then it returns false. We come into a very important part in this slide, that is data structures in Python. We have discussed primarily in the previous slide about the list, dictionary, tuples and set. Now let us focus on the list. List is the most frequently used data structure in Python. So it is contain integer value, float value, string value, or any list or any tuple or any dictionary. So everything can be present in the list. We can append at the end position the new value with the help of append function, and with the help of extend function we can extend or append, or we can add more than one value. So the difference between append and extend is, in the append we can insert single value at the end of the list, and in case of extend we can insert multiple values at the end of the list. We can count the number of values present in the list by passing a parameter within the count function, that which value we want to count. And also similarly, using the index function we can identify the index of a particular value present in the list. And insert function gives us the opportunity to insert any particular value within the list at any particular position. Here we can see it considers two parameters. One, the first parameter is the index parameter where we want to insert the particular value, and the second parameter is the E, where in the particular location the value we want to insert. And the next one is pop. Pop actually pops out an element or remove an element from the list from that particular index. So pop takes the index position of the value which we want to remove from the list, and remove function considers the remove value, actual value, whereas in pop we were providing the index. Now in case of remove we are giving the exact value which one we want to remove from the list. Okay, so here S represents the list. Okay, S is representing the list. Now S dot reverse, we can reverse the elements and we can take the printout. Not printout, actually we can show, display the value. S dot reverse, so it is actually reversing the elements of the list. And S dot sort, it is sorting the particular list, and we can give whether it should be sorted in reverse order or in the ascending order. So either in ascending or in descending we can give. Okay. Now we talk about tuples. It is also very frequently used data structure in Python. Now tuples are immutable sequence of binary or arbitrary objects. Now we talk about arbitrary objects in the previous slide as well, that it contains number, string, or any list, or any tuple, or any other dictionary within a tuple. So all these elements we can have in a tuple, and they are indexed by 0. Now tuples are hashable, that means we can sort the list of the elements. Okay, and syntactically we can use TPL, we can see from here TPL, and within single quote A, comma, within single quote B, comma, within single quote C. Now here we have mentioned or declared one tuple with a value of string type. Now another important tuple declaration, if we do not give comma after giving a single value within a tuple, then it becomes a string. That we need to remember. and without the trailing comma it becomes a string. Okay, then we talk about dictionary. Dictionary are declared as we can see from our third point, that D is equal to, that is within double quote, within single quote 1, then value is 1, within single quote 2, the value is 2, within single quote 3, the value is 3. Here these 1, 2, 3 which all are in single quote are the key value, and the numeric 1, 2, 3 are the values of the key. So this 1, 2, 3 within quote cannot be changed, as we know that key value cannot be changed, but the value of 1, 2, 3, the numeric values can be changed. So value part can be changed, but the key value part cannot be changed, and we can add new values to this dictionary by, you can see just below D, then within square bracket or third bracket we have given within single quote 4 and then is equal to 4. That means it will be added with the existing dictionary called D as a fourth value. Okay, so this is updated, and here if we want to insert multiple values, we can see from here we have to use the update function that includes multiple values in a single go within the dictionary. Okay, and the syntax is given, that is 5 within quote, then colon, then numeric 5 comma, then within quote 6 colon, then numeric 6. So 5 and 6 which is within quote written in text, that becomes the key, and the numeric 5 and 6 is the value. Okay, so you can see from here 5 in D is true. So by the key value within the dictionary we are actually getting the boolean value true or false, whether the key value is present in the dictionary D or not. And here in actually the membership operator which confirms that 5 within quote written in text present in D, that is dictionary, and that is true. Okay, now here Python data structure uses certain functions, particularly if we are considering D, that is dictionary, we can find out the length of the dictionary, and if we need to clear the elements present in the dictionary we can use the clear function, and if we want to copy of one dictionary to another we can use the copy function, and we can use the from keys, that is actually the key value present in the dictionary or not, and the get key that returns whether the particular value having the key value k is present and to get that particular value. So we are actually getting the value of the key position or key value k. Then items, it returns both the key value, whatever may be the number of items that will be displayed, and d dot keys represent the key value of the dictionary, and d dot pop actually removing a particular key element from the dictionary, which is represented by K here. And pop item remove the key value combination, okay, from D. And the set default, it is another important function. If it returns, if it is not found, it returns the K and the value V and set dk to V. Okay, that means if K is present, then the value of that particular position is returned. D dot update, as we have already seen that if we want to add multiple elements within the dictionary, we can use a update function. And D dot values returns the values present in the dictionary. Okay. Thank you students for your participation. I hope you are able to understand the data structure of Python, and if you have any query, please do reach me with the email ID given here. Thank you.